portion of the scriptures, we don't focus about James. We don't focus about James. There are two here. James and who? Peter. Anytime you see somebody leading Acts chapter 12, the focus is in who? Peter. But they don't focus on James. Let me tell you, beloved friends, there are two wives here. The wife of James and the wife of who? Peter. The following Sabbath, they are going to church. When they go to church, what is happening to the wife of Peter? The same church. The same church. What is happening to him? To her, sorry. He's giving a testimony. I like it. People are saying, we praise the name of the living God. We thank God. We prayed for your husband. And here he came out saying, what of the wife of James? What of the wife of James? What of the wife of James? What the church will do for the wife of James? What are they going to do for this wife? They are going to comfort. There is conviction in this church. Conviction in what sense? There is testimonies being given. There is comfort on this other side. The powerful, the powerless power of God. Beloved friends, I want to tell you, in this instant, there is same God, same disciples, same church, same enemy, same Lord, same sword, same prison. One is delivered, one is done what? One is done what? Is slaughtered. Is slaughtered. I don't know whether you can see the enigma in this text. I don't know whether you can see the enigma in this text. Same God, same disciples, same church, same enemy, same Lord. One is delivered, one is done what? Is slaughtered. While some were celebrating the power of God, some were comforting the wife of James. Same week, she had become a widow. What kind of God is this? Beloved friends, what kind of God is this? Same God, same disciples, same prison, same sword, same destructive power, Lord. One is delivered, another one is done what? Slaughtered. What kind of God? How does this happen, beloved friends? This is the enigma in this text. This is what I'm saying, the enigma in this text. Beloved friends, what is then the powerless power of God? What is then the powerless power of God? The powerless power of God is when God decides to do nothing about restriction. The powerless power of God is when God decides to do nothing about restriction. When God does it as if He does not He's not there when you need Him most. That is what I'm calling the powerless power of God. Look at James, Elisha's man, a just man, a leader of the conference. As if that is not enough, a man of common ease. None has ever prayed like James. But what happens to James? He was killed. What kind of God is this? This is what, beloved friends, I'm saying, the powerless power of God. When God decides to do nothing about restriction. When God does it as if He doesn't. It does it as if. When God does as if He's not there when you need Him most. That is the powerless power of God. Beloved friends, if you ask Sarah, the wife of Abraham, in the Bible, do you understand the powerless power of God? Sarah will tell you, yes, I understand the powerless power of God. Why? Because we were blessed, but I was barren. How can you be blessed and be barren? That is the powerless power of God. Beloved friends, if you ask Jacob, do you understand the powerless power of God? Jacob will tell you, yes, I understand the powerless power of God. Why? As he was wrestling the whole night with God, and when he realized that it was God, he said, I'm not leaving this place until you bless me. Beloved friends, before God blessed Jacob, what happened to him? He dislocated his hip. How can God bless you and dislocate your hip? That is the powerless power of God. I don't know whether you'll see the enigma in this text. Beloved friends, I'm wondering the kind of God that you can see in this text. The powerless power of God. If you ask James, the one who has been slaughtered, brother, do you understand the powerless power of God? James will tell you, yes, I understand the powerless power of God. Because he chopped, as Aaron chopped off his head. James says, even in his silence, he is still powerful. I expected an amen. Even in his silence, he is still powerful. That is the spirit James had. That is the spirit James had. That James will tell you, I understand the powerless power of God. How? Inasmuch as I am going to be chopped off, even in his silence, he is still powerful. Even in his silence, he is still powerful. He is still powerful. He is still powerful. I don't know instances in your life God has chosen or has seen it fit to be silent. But I want to tell you, even in his silence, he is powerful. He is powerful. He is powerful. If saying amen is a problem, then 70 days we'll have hell of time in heaven. Even in his silence, beloved friends, he is powerful. He is powerful. He is powerful. He is powerful. Beloved friends, if you ask Job, do you understand the powerless power of God? Job will tell you, yes, I understand the powerless power of God. By the way, Job, in the book of Job, Job asked God 64 times, why all these had to happen? 64 times. The whole of the book of Job. Job asked God 64 times, why? 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 Let me tell you. If you have never asked yourself why, you have never experienced the powerless power of God. If you have never asked yourself, or you have never found yourself asking yourself questions like, why? Why? Then you have never experienced the powerless power of God. Job asked it 64 times. Beloved friends, as he asked it 64 times, God told him, Job, stand up. I want us to have a face, and we want to have a conversation, a head-on collision. Then Job, God looked at him. He told him, you have asked me 64 times why. Job, God answered him by saying, who? In Job asking God why, God answers him by saying, who? When you ask God why, he will answer you by saying, who? Who has brought you this far? Who has brought you this far? When you find yourself, could it be you have lost your job? There's something that has happened. You bought a plot somewhere. Little did you know that that was a government parcel of land. When you ask God why, God will answer you by saying, who? Every time we ask God why, he answers and says, who? 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 Ni nani? Ni nani? Ni nani? Ni nani? It is God. How can I end this exposition, beloved friends? Allow me to say this. Allow me to say this as I end this exposition. Let us not dwell in the wife of James. Okay? If we dwell on the wife of James, we will not get the message that God has for us. Let us dwell on James. As James was getting to the guillotine, his head to be chopped off. What do you think was in his mind? Elisha's man, a chaste man, a man of commonness. What do you think was in his mind? Do you think he was, as he was approaching the guillotine, he was going there wailing, crying to God? I want to tell you, as James was getting to the guillotine, James was a man of an excellent spirit. James knew what Paul also knew. Paul says, I have one thing. These people, they have one thing in common. Paul knows, I have fought what? A good fight. And I've done what? And I've done what? And I've kept the faith. This is the kind of mind James had as he was approaching the guillotine. Beloved friends, James, as he was approaching to be slaughtered, inasmuch as the wife here is being comforted and all this is happening, I want to tell you, James, no single day, he was questioning God. And I said earlier that James knew that even God in his silence is still who? He is still God. James knew these principles. I'm here to tell you, friends, we can't explain these things. One Christian dies of corona. Another one survives of corona. You go to the same hospital. You survive from the same disease. She dies of the same disease. We can't explain these things, beloved friends. But I'm here to tell you that in moments of experiencing the powerless power of God, fight a good fight. Fight a good fight. How do we fight the good fight of faith? With or without corona, fight a good fight. Fight a good fight. With or without corona, God is still God. God is still God. Friends affected and infected with this corona, God is still God. Church comforted and church mourning, God is still God. God in dark is still God in light. God is still God. God on the land is still God on the sea. God on the top of the mountain is still God on what? On what? Beloved friends, I want you to answer me by saying, He is still God. When things go wrong, say it better and say it as if you mean it, beloved friends. When things go wrong, in financial problems, in marital conflict, in financial plenty, in facing the future with uncertainty, when you are discouraged, when you are wounded, when you have lost your loved ones, when you have so many layers, He is still God. Beloved friends, I want you, the song that is in the book of Psalms 23, verses 1 to 6, which the psalmist says, the Lord is what? My shepherd. I shall not do what? He makes me to do what? He makes you to do what? Lie down in what? He leads you beside what? He restores what? He leads me in what? For His what? Yes, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of what? I do what? For His what? You will prepare a table before what? But finally in verse 6 it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Beloved friends, I want to say this. God is still God. God is still God. In moment of experiencing the powerless power of God, God is still God. It's my prayer that you will be like the psalmist. You will say, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I dwell in the house of the Lord now and forever and ever and ever. Amen. It's my prayer as you experience the powerless power of God, may God still remain to be God. God bless you. Amen.